Good morning. It's showtime. It's Beat the Press. Good morning, people. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Mufc Realis TV and Beat the Press, your one-stop shop of looking in all the latest and greatest regarding Manchester United news, transfer news, and takeover news, and all that stuff away from the corporate clickbait stuff. You know, if you haven't followed this podcast or this news before, please make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that notification button because we have a lot of things to talk about today. We are going to talk about this. This is the agenda today. This is the top stories today. Manchester United transfer window in danger. What does that mean? Antony Martial exit is getting very, very close. Fenerbahçe board is on its way. They're actually coming to Manchester to discuss a potential January transfer move for Antony Martial. Guys, let me know what you think. Is it time for Antony Martial to depart? It's well overdue, according to my opinion. As well, Mauro Icardi Galatasaray from Galatasaray in January. Would you like that? I certainly wouldn't say no. We're going to dive into that story as well. Also, what came out yesterday, Sir Jim Ratcliffe's has been rumbling in the press that we apparently are linked with Dan Ashford from Newcastle as the new sporting director or director of football. But it's been coming out in the press to say that he wants total control with no involvement of the Glazers. And I can't blame him, guys. Christian Eriksen, breaking news, is back on training. Good team news, but also Mason Greenwood is on fire. Unstoppable. 3 goals and 4 assists in 13 league appearances. And he was shining in yesterday's match against Real Atletico Madrid, I think it was. So a lot of things to talk about. But guys, welcome to the show. Have a drink on your coffee and let me know where you're from, because it is morning after all and it's close to Christmas. And I'm waiting for Mark, producer, to come in. But big up to all of you. Sit back, relax, and let's do this. Let's inhala, exhala. Stretch your legs, arms, whatever you have, and let that blow flood going into the system. For some people it's morning, for some it's afternoon, some people it's evening. And let's have a sip on the coffee, and here we go. Anyway, as per usual, let's see who's in the room today. Where are you from? Let's see. As per tradition, we got to see Gas Elliott is in the house saying Ten Hag out. What? Not even good morning. How rude, Gas. Come in and say good morning, Mick. Jokes aside, Yalim, I mean, from what I've heard, Ashford won't be director of football, but supporting director, second in the command. Mitchell is slotted in to be director of football. If the plans comes together, who knows? Maybe we had. This is all a mess, you know. We're going to talk about that later, but you're touching a very, very subject. We're going to park that bus, Jolly, and we will get back to you later on. Guest Elliot, why would Ashford leave Newcastle? Exactly. We're going to talk about that. There's a lot of paper talk. And this is what we call Beat the Press. This is what we do. We discuss the news and we put our opinions as a community together. Does this make sense? Is it BS? Or is it just a media spin? Yolim Amin, well, Newcastle news areas around Newcastle are really worried that he will take up the offer. Why wouldn't they? I mean, if you saw the Carabao Cup yesterday, Chelsea got lucky. But on the other hand, if you look at Newcastle, they've been doing brilliantly in the recruitment department, but they are falling a little bit short right now. Injuries is catching up. They are not as a deep squad. They are building the squad. But what Ashford has done with Newcastle there is building up fantastic talent for less money. Like for 200 million, something that I understood, he recruited in 10 players or something like that. Well, we, for 200 million, have recruited in 2 players or 3 players. So that makes a difference in how you operate in the transfer market and the budgets. Big up Compost Murph. Big up to you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yale, have the usual suspects here. Thomas, all the way from Sweden. Good morning. Hit the like button, please. Hit the subscribe. Big up to you. Merry Christmas in advance, Thomas from Gothenburg. Let us know what the weather is in Gothenburg at the moment. I keep hearing it's snowy and cold, or is it just raining sideways as per usual in Gothenburg? Carlos, big up, coming in raw here, all paper talk. I'm not going to read the last word, but most sunny and shiny where I am, but I can understand what you're saying. Keep up the good work to you as well, my friend. Yes, is a lot of spinsters going up here. Jeff Steele, all the way from Adelaide, Australia. Big up. We are almost on the same time zone. Jeffy, how you doing, Jeff? Listen, Jeffy, I have a proposal for you. Why don't you join our morning streams one day as a special guest, since you are in Australia? For me, at the moment, it's 4 p.m. Thailand time, and for you guys in UK, it's 9 a.m. So 7 hours ahead of epicenter. Let's do this, guys. Let's get into the news. Ivo Bosic, these news bites are clickbait. Yeah. I mean, guys, you can see, you guys have been following this channel. You know that I don't shy away from calling out the media, with the critical thinking, applying logic, sense, and reasoning, and you can see who is benefiting from the stories. Good morning to you. Now it's improvement from Gas Elliott. Lol, he started off to say Glazers out straight away, but now he comes in. Gas, big up Gas for saying good morning to you. Good morning, top of the morning to you, wherever you are. Let's see, Jim D64, good morning, Mick and everyone. Good morning, Jimbo, how you doing? What you drinking? Are you having tea, coffee? I'm having, per usual, my double espresso. I'm waiting for Mark, producer Mark, to come in. He's kind of abandoned me. Where are you, Mark? I'm calling for you. You're fired, Mark. Jokes aside. No, Mark is doing a fantastic job. He's on the phone with his dad, so he will be back so shortly. So, guys, let me know, what's your Christmas plans? What do you do? Have you done all your Christmas shopping? For me, I hate Christmas shopping. I'm a little bit of a claustrophobic when it comes down to crowded places, and I just don't like it. People coming from left side, center, baby prams are hitting your ankles, people grumpy, cranky, stressed, just don't like it. But I love Christmas, the overall event, when you get together with family and friends and enjoy the spirit of giving. What are you saying, Jeffy? 100% Qatar, I still believe. You still believe. We got to believe. We got to believe. Almac is coming in here also. Chelsea aren't playing great, but there are lots of good young talent, 100%. But here's what I want to discuss about. And I was watching the Chelsea game, and I was thinking, well, media has been attacking Ten Hag. They want Ten Hag's head on the plate. But on the other hand, you look at London-based Chelsea. They're doing shite at the moment. They brought in so many new players that even the Chelsea faithfuls don't even know who's the starting 11. Maurizio Pochettino is actually, according to my opinion, doing a worse job than Tuchel did, or than Potter did, and media wanted him as the next Manchester United manager. I said, no, thank you. No can do, sir. Well, Thomas is coming back that the weather here in Gothenburg is windy, but no snow as of yet. I hope you get a white Christmas, my friend. I do hope you have a white Christmas. Good morning as well. Hang on. Carlos is saying good morning to you, my friend, from Northwest England. Veron just joining us from Twitter from Lusaka, Zambia. So we have Zambia in the house. We have UK in the house. We have Australia in the house. Big up, big up, big up. Hello from the UK. Hello from the other side. I did a mad Adele impression. So you from the UK, cup of tea, please. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Meetish is in the house. Big up, Meetish. Great to start the day with Mr. Ruby. Well, let's dive right into the news. As per tradition, Niall Kane is here. Big up. I haven't seen you guys for a long time. It is brutal. It is brutal. It is brutal. So let's start with the top stories. Let's dive into the news. Well, hang on. Manchester United put up 4 players for sale, according to the latest reports. According from the Express, Manchester United has made Jadon Sancho. Oh, what a surprise. Jadon Sancho. We knew that already. And let's say Casimiro, Rafael Varane, and Antony and Martial before sale for the January transfer window. Well, we knew Jadon Sancho definitely because he refuses to apologize. And that's another thing. But Antony Martial, I don't know, man. It's about time. It's about time that Martial leaves. So for me, this is the most shocking story that I want to bring to this stage. And this is Real Madrid is thinking to buy back Rafael Varane after David Alabas injury. Let that sink in. If we go back to this story, what does that mean for you? Well, one can just read the overall situation to say the club is broke. We are broke back mountain in terms of the finances. You see, Manchester United didn't predict to go out of the Europa Champions League stage. We finished last. We didn't even qualify for Europa League. And that meant 75 million pounds in lost revenue. This is not to back the manager. This is pretty much for the Glazers to pack up shop, forget about this season, and don't back the manager again. You know what I mean? One can sort of put two and two together to say, why are you selling assets? We clearly need Rafael Varane. We clearly need Casimiro. We don't need Martial. We don't need Donny van de Beek. And we need a Mark Nurse to come in and have his say. Pick up, Mark. How you doing?
I'm good. And how are you guys doing this morning? Is everyone enjoying their morning so far? Sorry I'm late, guys. I was on a long phone call from overseas,
yes,
talking to my dad in Trinidad. So, it's one of those things, Mick, like a lot of people got hyped in the summer, we were spending some money and then the money just ran out. The biggest problem for me is how we spend the money, Mick. It's not the fact that we didn't really plan to go out of the Champions League. It's the fact that the negotiation staff, they don't make proper deals. Like, they talking grandeur, like stuff like, we don't buy in January. United doesn't see the January window as a shopping experience. Like, we use the summer as our target. But then you go to the summer and you get offered players for 45 million. You could get a pair of players for 65 million. But then you say no, and you pay in together 135 million for those same two players. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it
is absolutely a madness. And I remember I'm just looking up. I did a tweet yesterday, and I'm just going to bring it up to the stage. Hang on a second. I did tweet about it yesterday, to be honest. Wait a minute. Yeah, here we go. But I can't bring it up to the stage. I said Manchester United is it's a broken club, right? From finances. Don't get delusional that you think that Manchester United is going to spend in January window. Why? Because if you look at it, after the financial reports came out, we took a 300 million euro credit line from Santander Bank because we still owe money in transfer market window for clubs to pay. And we took a little bit of that money so Ten Hag could have to spend in the summer. But the Ten Hag could not buy what he wanted. Ten Hag could not strengthen to go and even compete in Europe. And this is the calamity of the bad mismanagement of the people above, right? So that is the result of not having any more revenue to the club, 75 million loss. So what do we say? There's a saying in this way. Taste your own medicine.
Yeah.
Right?
You made your bed, now lie in it. You know
exactly. What I mean? So ain't Ten Hag's fault. And now they're telling him, okay, they're traveling down to John Mert has been traveling down to Saudi Arabia, trying to pimp up players like Casimiro. Are you mad? Like, what direction is this telling you that Ten Hag again? You're not going to cook. Hey, you're not going to cook. Just finish whatever you finish, and we will deal with it in the summers. This Glazeronomics for you, isn't it?
It is, but when you say Glazeronomics, it makes you feel like it's just the Glazers. You have to involve the backroom staff. You have to involve the negotiators. You have to involve a lot of people at Manchester United who work there, and they don't do a job. They're just there earning wages for free. People complain about Ten Hag, but imagine the negotiation staff could have gotten Antony for 45 million in May. Imagine if we had offered Frankie 80 million in May, he comes to United.
Yeah.
You know, it's
big up. Yeah, it's Rushmano, pure Glazonomics. People are saying Ten Hag out. Ten Hag has spent 400 million just to bench them. Lol. He ain't him, right? The thing is, the reason why we are now linked to sporting directors and all that is just to stop this bad investments. It's clearly Jose Mourinho came out and say, like, I advise the board that some players need to go in my second month in the job, and they're still here. So that means that managers, whatever they're saying, the board don't give a toss, basically. They keep the players as assets. So any managers come in to say, I need to get rid of that is not good enough, and I need to buy this and this and that. They just haven't been served at all. So managers don't lie, when they when they've broken the NDA, when the NDA is finished, they can actually come and speak. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer also, right? But I wish they could have a little bit stronger hit on the current board. So now you kind of see that knitting in together. We've been linked to, like, Jean-Claude Blanc, this new CEO. Now the latest is like Paul Mitchell.
Dan Ashworth.
Dan Ashford as a technical director, and Paul Mitchell as the recruitment director. That's fine, because that is exactly what the club needs. And I'm saying, Glazers, maybe they're walking up to say, well, if we do this, we can generate more money and still be in the back seat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because let's face it, Mark, let's face it. They've been running this club, at least the siblings, for 11 years approximately, and a little bit more, right? So they've been outsourcing the operations to Matt George, Woodward, and all them. All the bankers. They're not footballing people, and the result, the proof is in the pudding. 1 billion spent and nothing to show for. Not even backing the manager, but they're just doing the commercial signing that's good for the business, rather than what's good for the pitch. That's the big difference, though. Which leads me to the next question. Rafael Varane. Real Madrid is thinking to buy back Rafael Varane after David Alabas injury.
100%.
Hell no. Hell no. What's your opinion regarding that?
Well, I mean, right now, in my honest opinion, United is a team in a state of flux. So I'll be really honest when I say this. If the money is right, I'm selling anyone. I'm selling everyone. You know what I mean? And it's because some people might say, Marcus Rashford, give him a chance. I'm saying he had 9 years. Some people might say Rafael Varane is the best defender we have. I say, well, half of the season last season, he was injured. Half of the season before, he was injured. I'm like, availability and technical ability are the best qualities a player have. And if he's unavailable for more than half of the season, 2 years in a row, it's time to go. Antony Martial should be sold. No one should be wondering what they should be, just getting rid of some of these players out of the door. Like, I think
but Martial is well overdue. But Varane, to sell him now in January, apparently we can get 20 million for him in January. How desperate are we? Basically, Rushmano is saying 10 years without any football instruction, we expect success. No, exactly. But we need Rafael Varane. Rafael Varane is our best central defender. Keep him until summer, at least.
I don't disagree, but I'm just thinking about the perspective that, is either we're going to start the rebuild 100% now,
but you cannot start the rebuild in the middle of January. What's the point?
We're already out of.
The whole point mark here. The whole point mark here. Correct me. You can come here and defend, but we need to finish the season. We cannot sell our, all our player and assets in January without even buying.
We need to finish?
Nothing is going to come to the transfer market. Do you understand that? This is Glazonomics 2.0 again.
True.
They're just going to sell it to save money, but not back the manager, because in their mind they calculated, let's pack up the season and start fresh in the summer. This is what happens, Mark. You've seen it before.
I've seen it before. But like, if the current state is basically this, it's sell to buy. There are some players who weren't wanted in the squad. He didn't want them in the summer. The Glazers didn't allow them to leave, which is typical of the Glazers. There are players here since Louis van Gaal. So if Ten Hag wants them out, get them out. It's as simple as that.
But who says that he wants Rafael Varane out?
No, I'm not saying about Rafael Varane. I'm just talking about in general.
I'm specifically talking about Rafael Varane right now, because defenders is what we need, Mark. You know,
Yeah,
I don't care about Martial. I don't care about Martial. Is well due 4 years ago to exit the club. But this is what actually Mourinho was saying. Certain players are still here that I said is not good enough. They're still at the club. Was he then referring to Luke Shaw? Was he referring to Martial? Who else was it? Rashford? Was it? Who else do you think he was referring to?
Probably Rashford, Lindelof,
Lindelof.
Yeah, like Scotty McTominay. You know, definitely. You know, like my thing is with the players right now is that, you know, I like Rafael Varane. Don't get me wrong, I like him. I think he's our best defender as well. But I'm looking like, if it's gonna cost us 15 million to get Giorgio Scalvini, or 35 million to get Goncalo Ignacio, yeah, I'm making up the funds, because at the end of the day, I'm looking forward to see what we could do next season with the proper team starting there. You know, I'm not saying Ten Hag needs the perfect players. I'm saying Ten Hag needs players who fit his system. He needs a board that backs him, that gets rid of players just as much as they bring in players. Because as you see, you know, we went through all those injuries, and the players he wanted out had to become starters.
No, fair enough. You have your opinion, but Thomas is kind of singing the iTunes tune. What I'm saying as well, they're only selling players to save money, to get rid of wages. They're not going to replace anyone. Same shift, different transfer window. And this is exactly my point as well when I read into the story, right? And that's what I'm saying. I don't want us to sell Rafael Varane, even if we get 20 million. It's not the right forum and time if we're not going to replace him with a Todibo or something better. That's the thing, right? At this moment, we've seen the finances. We are Brokeback Mountain. I see us just getting loan deals or sell players to buy players. But this is not going to help us because, A, we lost 75 million in revenues by not being in Europe. So this is the Glazers putting back that money into the where you're losing. You know, you win some, you need to put it back, tap out the hole. That is the sad state of affair, Mark. Let us know, VR room, let us know in your section here. Would you sell Varane in January? Press 1. Will you keep him till the and assess the situation into the summer? Press number 2 in the chat, guys. Let's move on, Mark. Don't want to have this long debate. This is a morning show. I want to hear what the VR room has to say. Please engage with us. Number 1, if you like to sell Varane, if you think it's the right thing to let him go in the January and cash in for 20 million, or to keep him to the end of the season, assess. Neil Driscoll is saying 2. Almac says sell. Surin says 1. Sell. And what you're saying here, Jim says 2. Keep. So we have a little bit of a balanced debate here. Anyway. Next on the target, which is pretty much not a Manchester United player, but it's been set to say that Fenerbahçe is, hang on, there was the wrong story. Manchester United could lose Serge Regulion to Borussia Dortmund already 100%. In January. You live in Dortmund, almost close. We know that there's a clause in his contract that he can break this loan and he can join any club because then he will be a free agent in summer.
To be honest, like Serge Regulion is a tricky one for me. A lot of fans might say sell Serge Regulion, get rid of Serge Regulion. I'm like, I would keep him on loan and sell Luke Shaw. You know what I mean? But a lot of fans might disagree. To me, in my honest opinion, Luke Shaw was garbage on Sunday. He was, in my opinion, selling the game at points because all the defenders walked past him like he was standing still. And I'm not trying to discredit Luke Shaw, but I always tend to believe Jose Mourinho when I was watching the team. I think Luke Shaw is a player with a lot of ability, but no common sense in his head to use it. It's the same thing like I think about Rashford. So a lot of people might disagree, but unless we're selling those 2 players, then it's not Glazernomics because, you know, those are the highest paid players in the squad.
Okay, but it's not the right time, I think. If we want to finish the season stronger, if you want to weaken the team market, I don't agree what you say.
No, well, selling Varane.
We're not going to buy anyone in January. You know the story, Mark. We're not going to buy. You've seen this story before, right? We're not going to get a new sporting. We're not going to get a new sporting director or director of football in before Christmas. We're not going to get new owners in before the Christmas media spinning.
100%.
You've seen it before. Let's move on. Basically, we will not. We don't own Regulion, so this is not an issue, right? But what you said that. Okay. This might be a little bit too heavy for a morning show, Mark. I don't want to have a debate, But I can argue to the point that we need better fullbacks. 100%. I wouldn't mind selling Luke Shaw. I wouldn't mind getting rid of Dalot. I wouldn't mind getting rid of just to get better wingbacks. We need better wingbacks, 100%. We need best in every position. That's the Manchester United standard, right?
Well, I won't say best in every position, but we need a team that can complement each other to the best of their ability. So I would say, you need a talent. You definitely need the best center backs, and you need the best pairing of a left back and a right back that will complement them. It might not be the best players in the world because, I won't say that Johnny Evans was the greatest center back when he was at Manchester United, but I just think he complemented Rio Ferdinand really well when he played next to him. I think it's all about the complementation, because you have to remember, you could have the best midfielders on a team and they might not perform well because they might not complement each other's weaknesses and positives. So
it's about team dynamics. And before, players used to know each other's moves exactly without even looking. Like, they know each other's patterns, right? But here's the thing, right? Would you then? I mean, I wouldn't. I would like to see this. Get rid of Regulion, bring back Alvaro Fernandez. For God's sake, he's free. It's ours.
It's ours.
And he's doing great in this La Liga.
I mean, some people might hate me for this, but another player that was doing great in La Liga should come right back. I think sometimes we get a little bit ahead of ourselves in the way we think about players. Sometimes you get too attached or you get too emotionally involved sometimes, and it's like, we want United to win. The best player in the position is always going to be better. It's not about favorite. He could have been a servant for 10 years. Thank you very much. We appreciate your service. We cheered you for 10 years, but now it's time to let the next guy come in. It's about moving on and always progressing, Alvaro Fernandez is very talented. You know what I mean? I didn't want to suggest him. I'm glad you said it. I think he should come right in January and start.
I think so.
I think Luke Shaw goes to the bench, or you can play him in left center back. Right now, I think Johnny Evans, like I said, Johnny Evans.
Maybe it's just say thank you for your loyal service. Move on. Same with this one. Fenerbahçe board set to have a meeting with Manchester United Aunt Martial. A Fenerbahçe board member, Salatin Baki, is set to travel to England to hold talks over a number of transfer targets, including Manchester United striker Antony Martial. Thank you. Thank you
very much.
Thank you. Listen, there's two ways you can do it. Somebody in the chat mentioned, it's so hard to sell a players because of the inflated wages. So one thing is to fizzle out the contract and just ship them off, right? That's the only way we can do it right now. To sell Marcus Rashford on 375k a week, impossible. Unless he goes to some La Liga or some PSG that can afford to pay that wages. But the rest of mediocre players, come on, that sits on these high wages. I think that, yes, Fenerbahçe is willing to take him in January, pay a little bit more money, give a little bit, because his contract is expiring, I think, in the summer, right? Free agent.
100%. I think.
How long has he been in the club?
9 years, I think, or 7 years.
9 years? What has he done?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm going to be honest.
Has he scored 30 goals?
I'm not going to go in too hard on Antony Martial. I think he had some seasons where he could have been brilliant. I also would place a lot of the blame on his injury problems on one of the coaches, who I don't think was a good coach. A lot of people rate him, but I think he was a garbage coach. Yeah, it was all
injuries. Injuries is how you are taking care of your own diet and yourself and your own training routine.
It's not just the player, because as we all know, Manchester United did not have a leader in the medical department for over a year. And that over a year was before Ten Hag came in, right? And then you have to consider the fact that we don't have the best medical system that we used to have. For the last 10 years, we did not have that.
Yeah, but how many times have we actually been injured for the past 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, well, all he played him through injury.
Has he ever hit 30 goals a season? What has he done for United? Has he ever completed a full season?
I mean, you could say that about a player. You could say that about him. You could say that at the same time.
Why are you defending? It's mediocre. It's time to go. Why are you defending?
I think it's time for him to go. I'm just saying that a lot of people give him stick.
Well, answer my question then. How many? Can you answer my question then?
In his first 2 seasons, he was in double figures for goals. It's not surprising. Like, you know, when a club talks about a player like Radmel Falcao, who spent a year on the bench injured and then came back and scored 11 goals, and everyone is like, Radmel Falcao. You know, Anthony Martial was better than him, right? And the reality is that it didn't work out. It's just like Donny van der Beek. It's not Donny's fault that it didn't work out. You cannot buy a player and have him sit on the bench.
So you're basically saying. So wait a minute. You're just basically saying now. You mentioned about the medical board, but what about the player's own responsibility to take care of his own diet, his own application, own self?
I'm not taking away from that, but at the same time, the fact is the fact. Like, at the end of the day, the club in the last 10 years has not been doing what we expect them to do for the majesty of our heritage. It's just been like a flat line. The Glazers, the Glazers and the backroom staff. Like, everyone gets blamed there, because
this ties back into exactly what Jose Mourinho was saying in his interview. He was spot on.
100%. Like,
the sum of this, Mark, is what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to attack you. I'm trying to say
no.
It is finally time to get rid of these deadwoods once and for all, to turn the page, because apparently we cannot sell them because of the high wages. So if you say get rid of Luke Shaw, fizz out his contract, bring in Alvaro Fernandez, which is next in line. Super good. Martial needs to go. If we can get like 10 million for him, take it. Just take it, right?
100%.
Harry Maguire, Scott McTominay, they were supposed to go in the summer. That didn't happen because the board said no, apparently, right? And look what they're doing now. Like, you know, everyone is getting giddy because they're saving Ten Hag's job, and but reality is that they got a fluke chance because of all these injuries. Scott McTominay would have never played if we didn't have the injuries in the midfield. Same with Harry Maguire. Same thing. But as soon as Leach comes back, he will play with Varane. He will play with ahead of everyone. As soon as Eriksen that's coming back in the squad as well, which reportedly he's training, he will put down Scott McTominay back to the bench where he belongs, according to my opinion.
Actually, I think Eriksen will be more used as a substitute for Bruno this round. I think Casimiro is going to be next to Kobe Mainoo. I think if Kobe Mainoo's in the field, Eriksen is not going to start if Bruno or Casimiro is fit. I think, my honest opinion, or unless they're rotating, because Eriksen is a top class player. Don't get me wrong, but he can only offer 45 minutes a half. His legs goes after that, and it becomes like 10 men on the pitch. So
big up Mace Windex.
One of those things.
Big up. Ole played Martial injured, which ruined him. He was good before Ole. Yes, he was.
100%.
I love Martial, don't get me wrong, but I've seen the decline of Martial, and it's time to go. He lost a yard of pace. I mean, Jesus. Martial never had that consistent season. He never hit the peaks and the expectation what people thought he could be, right? And this is the most frustrating for me as a Manchester United fan, right? And the same goes for this lad, Donny van der Beek.
Yeah, well,
he's now arriving for Frankfurt for a medical. So that is done deal almost.
Yeah, I mean, he already had his medical yesterday. It should be announced by 11, which is like, for me, it's going to be announced in the next 20 minutes that his medical was completed and everything is going as planned. He's a Frankfurt player as of today. I think Donny van der Beek is another example of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's poor management ability. Like, you buy this player who was supposed to be one of the best in the world, and then you keep Jesse Lingard rather than selling him to West Ham. Like, you further keep Donny out of the team. It's terrible is what he did to Sancho and a lot of players in the team suffered not just development but improvement because of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And people, might credit Ole for coming second during COVID, but he never had a style of play.
He was never an Ole signing. Ole didn't want him. It was a board signing. And look what they're doing now. They treated him really, really wrong. And now, fair play, let the lad go. Like, we all wanted to see Donny van der Beek, but I think the Manchester United destroy Ole, van der Beek's career at the end of the day, right? We know the story. So let the lad go. Let him play. I think it's a loan deal with an obligation to buy for, I don't know what the fee will be.
11 million plus 5
we
million
bought him
in
for 25 million or something. So yeah, There's still like, we already made up money on it, so it's okay. But I just feel sorry for Donny, right? The way he was treated. He's been having misfortune, like, ever since he came. He went to Everton on the loan. He pushed a move. He didn't get a move, and then he finally got a move, and then he came to Everton, played 4 games, was the man of the matches there, and got injured, like, Then he came back finally, played really well, and got the sizzle tackles from, what was his name? Totally destroyed his knee.
The guy from isn't this
was
guy
it Carroll?
Carroll, yeah, Andy Carroll.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Spot on, man.
And like, you know what? I'm not gonna blame Donny. I think, it was criminal to play Jesse Lingard ahead of Donny. It's just like it's criminal to start Marcus Rashford off the left ahead of Jadon Sancho. It's criminal. You don't start unintelligible players in front of intelligent players. It's crazy.
So, good morning, everyone that's waking up. We have Richie Club Sport. We have Milos Mitic say Dobro jutro. Dobro jutro, Milos. Kako si. Ian McDonald is here in the house. We see Jeff Steele is still active. Abdul is still here. Royden Frost. People, Mace, Windex. People are waking up, including Jarvis Cocker, and Jeff Steele is saying, I'm so angry, has been my favorite player for 3 years, but never given the chance. Thanks, Ole. I will cry when he leaves. And that's basically Donny van de Beek. I was the biggest guardian of Donny. Like, I felt sorry for him, like, but it's time to say goodbye.
Yeah, it's
time. Like that song. Like,
congratulations to him.
To say goodbye.
100%. And I think he's going to do really well. I think everyone who's thinking Donny van de Beek is not that good, I think they're going to be very surprised, because Eintracht Frankfurt beat Bayern Munich 5-1. Right? When you add Donny to that team is what they were missing. I think that he's going to do really well. We'll see him next season, because we're all going to be in the UCL next season. So we're going to see each other again.
Wicked. Well, that's the outs. Unless you know any more that's going out. Shock exit, people. But we're going to bring you Sunday Paper Talk. This is the big one. Manchester United plot to loan with a clause deal to sign the 17-goal striker. Desperate Ten Hag. We're talking about Mauro Icardi.
It won't
Paper
happen.
Talk.
Paper talk. I'm not even going to discuss the topic. Like, Mauro Icardi is Mauro Icardi.
We're here to discuss the Paper Talk, because that's the beat the press.
I mean, he's is okay. Like, for what Manchester United is, it's like trying to sign Arnautovic. I'll just make that comparison. You can't sign Mauro Icardi to Manchester United if you can sign Arnautovic. It's the same.
How old is he, by the way?
Mauro Icardi, I think he's 34 or 35. No, he's older than that. He's about, I think he's between 34 and 36, something like that. But Mauro Icardi is very talented. He's very talented. He's one of those strikers who gets goals. I think it's in his interest. If he was to sign, he is that striker that will poach a lot of goals, right? But I'll tell you this much.
It's a loan.
If the fans who protested Mason Greenwood out don't protest Mauro Icardi, I don't want to hear about them ever again. I'm telling you, I don't ever want to hear excuses.
People
from fans
are getting really, really upset in the chat, but it's like just paper talk, Mark. Don't get upset. We're here to beat the press. That's what we're doing. We're beating the press. It's understood.
You got to talk about it,
Mark. Let me finish. It's understood that Icardi is now seeking new challenges, prompting the Red Devils' interest in securing his service for the remainder of the season. In a bid to secure a place in Europe, it's believed that the loan will have a clause attached. Erik ten Hag is urgently pursuing a new forward, we are told. This is coming out from One Football app as well. So basically, it's a loan. But thing is, realistically speaking, Mark, we ain't going to go buy anyone in this summer. We can dream and talk about Marcos Leonardo. What we will see is loan deals like this, because we've been linked to Timo Werner. Now we're being linked to this. Jesus, I don't want another Uncle Iggy or Weghurst, but I'm afraid it's going to happen.
You never know. We might end up on the bright side of a loan. Like, I think I could stomach. Can you? A Timo Werner. I think I could stomach that.
Can you stomach?
If it's him over Mauro Icardi, I'm stomaching it all day. You know what I mean? Because
let us know in the chat.
Let us know in the chat. He blows up the team.
Let us know in the chat if you agree with Mark what he's saying. Would you stomach a Timo Werner over, or would you have a Mauro Icardi if you had the choice? Library FC people, let us know in the chat as well. Icardi is a disruptive player, what Rushmano is saying. Oh my God, what a debate. I can't even believe we're having this debate over two dinosaurs. Come on, man. Timo finding Timo Werner and washed out Icardi that's done in Serie A, goes to Turkey, enjoying the rest of his falafel and everything else, and looking for a final paycheck. Okay, he did well in the Champions League, but anyway, just play Højlund for God's sake. And hold my beer on that one. What is the people saying? Do not trust when, what's Rushman? Do not trust when they say MUFC are going to do anything in the January transfer window. 100%. That's my point.
100%.
Rushy, love you, brother. Thank you. Listen, moving on. But here comes what we need to be done. And here is another spin that's coming out.
This article is very interesting. Very, very interesting, I see. You know, Mick? Like, could you imagine we get Dan Ashworth, you know, Laurent Blanc, and, you know, Paul Mitchell? I think
the Avengers. You know how they painted that in the media? The dream team, the Avengers. We're here, coming to the theater next to you. The superheroes are back to save Manchester United. And this is Sir Jim Ratcliffe is going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know how it's been painting? Like, you know, the Christmas list is coming early. Secret Santa is coming early. And they're also saying that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is going to join before Christmas. But guess what, mofos? You still have to do the director's fitness test. You still have to announce the whole thing to the New York Stock Exchange. There's a lot of process that needs to be done. And this is, for me, treated again like a bloody transfer window. Here 100%. We go.
You know, and, you know, the strategic review is still rumbling on. And with most journalists, you know, talking about this issue, it's like, you know, they're going to get these guys. You know, this guy's already saying to the management, to the owners of the club, like, if Joe Glazer is involved, I don't want none of it.
No, he's saying that. Why would you come to United where you're comfortably sitting in Newcastle to be dominated by Joel Glazers? Apparently, even if Sir Jim Ratcliffe is getting the sporting operation control on 25%, yeah, you can operate like a Sir Jim Brailsworth for the sporting what do you call it, performance-related stuff. Mm-hmm. Then you will have what they're saying, Dan Ashford as the director of football, and they're apparently claiming that still Paul Mitchell will be the scouting director, the recruitment director, right? And then still that the ass-licking John Murtry is still going to have a job, the one that's been leaking out information, the one that got the CEO fired as well, the rat that I don't really like. I'm sorry, speaking facts, is still at the club, though. But this means that you get rid of Fletcher, boys for the jobs, Fletcher, out.
Thank you.
Murtry, out. A competent CEO that knows how to do, like, you know, proper building football club in Jean-Paul Blanc. Great. That's a start. That's a building block. But they keep saying that everything is imminent. Everything is, it's like the aggregators. Like, you know, okay, this came out yesterday, and it felt like domino. One reported it, and you know how the domino is. The aggregation accounts, the journalists today, it's dominoes. It's aggregation, right? Stenographers. They're just reporting what this one is saying without even confirming. They're just like confirming that story. You know. Anyway. This was about to happen anyway from a rebuild from Manchester United, right? So you will always get rid of John Murtry. He was next in line. CEO was not good enough, and that is the structure that the club is leaning towards. And now they're even saying that, well, if Ineos comes in, Ten Hag's job is going to be out. 75% of every rebuild. That's what Mark Goldbridge was saying, by the way. Anyway, it's all PR spin, according to my opinion. Beat the press. What do you reckon?
I reckon that, you know, there's going to be changes. There has to be some changes. You know what I mean? I would honestly love to see, even if we just get Laurent Blanc and Paul Mitchell, I think it comes in major, you know, like a master stroke, because a lot of people, you know, they might say Ten Hag this, Ten Hag that. Look what he has done under the pressure and the circumstances he's been doing it under.
It's going under the radar.
And imagine if he had a proper CEO and a proper DOF from since the first day of his first season, we would probably be in the top driver's seat right now. Not even
But Mark,
exaggerating.
I keep reiterating it. I said it in many podcasts before. Any football operations need to have that triangle. You need to have the technical director working together with the coach, together with the recruitment and the CEO. They form that triangle, because to identify the style of play and recruit within that style of play. You know what I mean? Right now, Manchester United don't even have that. They have just a flat line above, right? This is Ten Hag underneath. This is Jose Mourinho underneath. This is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's been like that. And everything above has been, we don't understand football, but we do understand that this player sells more shirts. Mason Mount got the number 7 shirt because he's a cute boy and says, a lot of girls like him. So yeah, we signed Mason Mount to put a cute face onto number 7 and we will sell a lot of shirts. That didn't work.
And people are complaining for him. People will be like, let's see Mason. Let's see what? The guy has touched the ball the most. The guy has touched the ball more than Marcus Rashford this season and has less output than Marcus Rashford.
Yeah. Anyway, time to go to the comments section. Sorry for interrupting. We are having a very heated morning debate. I guess Mark didn't have his coffee as of yet, and I had too many coffees, so I'm very excited. Roydon, Garnacho is rubbish. That's what you think. That's your opinion. Everyone is title. What you're saying, Ashford, Mitchell, Blanc, an average assemble, what Rushmano is saying. Avengers assemble, 100%. A lot of people saying spin, spin, spin. A lot of people don't believe it until you see it. And that's the way you should treat it, like a transfer window. If they're treating us fans to feed us this gosh stories that it's like a transfer window, then you should also treat it like a transfer window. Take it with a pinch of salt. As what we United fans say, only see it until you believe it, until they sign up 100%. And hold the shirt.
Exactly. You know what I mean? It makes no sense to get yourself hyped for these things. Like, the media, it's Manchester United. I'll be honest with everyone. Like, look at the amount of views and ratings that the UCL has on the days when Manchester United plays, and look at the UCL on the days when United doesn't play. You know what I mean?
Anyway.
So that alone will tell you everything.
Anyway, I just want to bring another thing to this stage. My PTSD is kicking in, and everyone's PTSD is kicking in, Jeff Steele. We are Patriot Red fans. We are not the corporate gash clickbait stuff. We're trying to give you a balanced approach. Like, we're here to debate. Mark agrees with me. Often he doesn't, because he's a very Patriot Red himself, a realist, right? But he's still a very positive one. So he's still defending certain players and I say, no. But this makes fan engagement. My PT is kicking in again. I'm sick of everything United for 10 years and nothing has changed until Glazers leave. Will they ever leave? Yeah.
We let them leave?
On Thursday. Yeah. Listen, on Thursday, it's something that I am the only one reported, the only fan channel that did a piece on this. You can watch it yesterday with Football Economy. We're talking about the ruling of the Europa Super League, the 80 proposed team that's going head-to-head against Champions League, right? There's going to be ruled tomorrow. And there's a theory to say the Glazers are hanging on, basically because that's mega bucks, right? There might be a theory to say that they're hanging on not to announce any sales until they find out what's going on with there. But I don't believe it's going to be anything. Do you think so?
No, I think they're going to get disappointed again because, like I've been saying, there are laws that have been put in place to ban all English clubs in every single way, shape, or form from competing in that tournament, because it will be destructive to the pyramid in England, and that could negatively affect the economy of the entire country. So while these football clubs might be powerful and they might want to do this and do whatever, at the end of the day, they're not more important than the British people or the economy.
No,
so
true. I have a heavy question from David here to say, Mick, do you ever think that Ratcliffe would buy into for a full sale? We did a podcast. No, we did a podcast about this yesterday. Go check it out with Bilal Yogi. Everything is in there. But to answer your question, nobody really knows what he's going to do. Or, I certainly believe that sometimes it's been used as a smokescreen, as a PR tool to buy time for the Glazers, to stall as much as they can. They're best buddies, according to past interviews. They know each other, but we will see. We will see because for me, it does not make sense. They're coming out with stories to say there's legal implications. There's still the minority shareholders, Lindsay Train Bowen, still challenging. If there was challenging on 69% stake, Then he lowered down to 51 to 25. And this has been all propped up and driven by the British apparatus media, the gravy trains. They want him in so bad, so bad, so bad. And they keep telling you the stories that it's going to happen Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, next weekend, before Christmas, next year. But the question is, will it ever happen? Nobody really knows. That's the thing. And I always said, I smell a rat. We see. For me personally, I'm a Patriot Red. I only want 100% full sale only because I don't see the 25%
100%.
solving any financial issues with the club. Because if it's going to buy it, it's going straight into buy the Glazer shares. It's not going into where the money is needed, into clearing
100%.
the debt, in terms of buying the stadium or fixing the stadium, fixing the infrastructure. Ain't going to solve anything. So what the media is trying to do here is to divide and conquer again. You know, it's like the transfer window. They sell you these stories for you to get excited, to get back on the bandwagon again, to get that endorphins going. But you keep forgetting who's still sitting in the background, and that is the Glazers driving it. So don't be fooled, people. So if they're feeding these stories, Mark, again, they're giving you the Jean-Paul Blanc. Yesterday came out with Ashford and Paul Mitchell. It is still divide and conquer again. This is them telling you it's okay, 25%. It ain't okay. If we continue on this rate, the club is going to an administration. The Glazers don't have money. They don't have liquidity. End of story.
I agree with Campos here. The media has been quoting themselves for the last 3 months. It's been ridiculous and
shameless.
I mean, you know, I'm not gonna say that, you know, it's impossible for Sir Jim to take over, but I'm saying that fans, we should not be excited by this. We should be greatly disappointed by this. This keeps the Glazers at the head of the club. It doesn't make it so.
That's the one. That's the one. This is what we need. This is the story of the day. Hey, guys, let's all do $50 super chat so Mick can buy 25%.
100%.
Like, dude, if I had the money, I would buy 100%. I would throw in whatever it takes, 10 million, 10 billion, whatever. Guys, seriously.
I mean, you're a fan. Any fan would buy it at whatever the cost is because we're fans. We know how each and every one of us feel. Even if we have disagreements, you know, we still know how each other feel because at the end of the day, we all fervently wish for this club to be the best. We want to see us win and do well, you know?
But the thing is, if you support at 25%, then your Glazers in, according to my opinion. That's just my opinion, right? Because then you're falling for the trap again that you see, like, you know, how can you accept that the Glazers sitting there in the back seat and still robbing you the club and feeding you the BS stories that, you know, hey, we have a new sporting director, we have a new director of football. It's a little bit too late. You should have done that 10 years ago, right? Maybe they're woken up now to say, oh, this is our investment. Maybe we invested for wrong 10. Maybe we're getting the proper advice that, hey, actually, if we run the business better, if we point the right people, focusing on footballing matters, maybe that will give us more money. Maybe that they're woken up to that idea with the strategical reviews. Nobody knows. Maybe. But it's a little bit too late because we have already been damaged by them.
Very badly. I mean, we're damaged in a lot of ways. Look at the facilities. It's on the level of Reading right now. The facilities, our stadium is leaking. There's you know, leaky toilets. There's a leaky roof. You know what I mean? Our team is
Mark, you see this? You see what this is? I sign it right now. This is divorce paper. This is my divorce papers from the Glazers. I signed it a long time ago. You ain't coming back. I've been abused for far too long. So even if you come back and say, I'm sorry, roses, flowers, you ain't going to help. The divorce papers have been signed a long time ago, and we're not going to accept 25%. Yeah? I want 100% custody of these children.
They really fumbled the ball. You know what I mean? They had this club with a mega fan base, and it like, honestly, if they had invested one season, right? One season they did, you know what? Let's invest properly. You know, they would have turned it around. And, you know, I don't think people might have liked them a lot. But if we were winning and we were in a situation where we're always competing, I think they would be acceptable owners.
100% you know what, I mean? What Jeff Steele is saying, 100% only. I can see you guys 100%. What Jeff Steele, while you're having here, I forgot to thank you. Thank you for buying me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com. Seriously, I forgot to write the message, but I saw you bought me coffee. Guys, if you want to buy us a coffee, because we drink a lot of coffee, you know, if you know me, right? My favorite drink is a double espresso. So I always have my double espresso. You can see the QR code there down here. and follow the link. The link is in the description. It's pretty much a donation if you appreciate what we're doing. Or you can super chat, or you can just simply super like, or, you know, just become a member. It is almost free of charge to become a member. It's just like less than €1 per month, right, to support these. We are apparently, Mark, on the road for 20,000, and we are so close. We are very close. Do you want to know where we are at the moment?
9,967 subs, I think.
You reckon?
I think it's 67.
Let me check. We are 19,000. Refreshing. 935. We are 65 away from 20,000 subscribers. Guys, I cannot be more grateful, and thank you everyone that's been following this channel ever since we started over a year ago. It's been an amazing journey. But if you can please help us, please, Superman, help us. You're my Obi-Wan Kenobi. Don't give us kryptonite. If you haven't subscribed yet, tell people to come in and help us to reach a target before the end of the year. That would be a lot for us. 100%. Big up. Merry Christmas. Hope Santa comes early. Maybe we get 20. You know, I'll be so happy to get that. That's been a dream come true.
It'd be nice.
You're having a coffee with me now, Jeffy. Yes, big up to you. A kappa.
You know, do you have anything else on the show? Because, like, you know,
yes, I do. I'm about
to
close off. I want to close off with a proper thing. And this ties into the calamity, how Richard Arnold has been running the club and everything, that the changes are needed. Barring that we have no funds on the loan market, I think bring back Alvaro Fernandez. He's ours. He's contracted. And I know a lot of people are not going to like it, but this guy is doing madness. This guy is doing madness currently. He's on fire. Basically, he's got, 4 assists and 3 goals in 13 matches. And yesterday he played a game, was probably man of the match. I don't know how many. I think he had about 86 touches or something like that. And a 3-3 draw.
He was amazing. He called, like, imagine him. I'm not going to say him alone, because he supplied Borja Iglesias with a goal. He supplied, Borja Mayoral with a goal as well. But his play, it took the game away from Atletico Madrid on the edge of their box, because he was everywhere and he was the one pulling all the strings. He got one of the Atletico players sent off at the 37 minutes. That's when they were able to get their equalizer. I think you have been seeing this young man this season, and you see shades of what he was 2 years ago before he was suspended from playing football. And for him to come back into the game a year and a half later, and in 6 months or less, this is the output. This is the quality.
Yeah,
if you look at, a lot of people would say, he's probably getting these things, and but if you look at him, you see the same Mason Greenwood. You see a player that's taking it up another level.
He hasn't kicked the ball for over 12 months. He hasn't been training with any. So this is a big achievement to come here on the short spell of and getting back his motor skills, his muscle memories. It's getting there. I don't care about moral compass. I'm here. I'm very balanced. I don't have an opinion. So I just look at football. I see a player. I don't see what the player is doing outside or whatever. That's I'm not down with OPP. Other people's business. You know what I mean? It's just basically we need players. This is apparently this is our player. I'm still under contract. We have Alvaro Fernandez. Bring him back if the manager is still going to play them. That's the thing, right? Real Madrid is currently looking.
Yeah, Real Madrid has been scouting Greenwood for the last 2 weeks. Every game they've been to. Barcelona scouts as well. Bayern Munich scouts. RB Leipzig scouts. AC Milan scouts. Juventus scouts. And Manchester City
scouts. They wanted him already when he was playing for United. That's the thing. Now they're rubbing their hands thinking we can get a bargain. Hell no. Listen, I'm done with that. Don't keep our talent. We have fantastic talent. Isaac Hansen-Oren, City, go do one. He's our player, right? They are now looking at all academy players, but basically. So,
Yeah, this is why I was saying, guys shouldn't be too despondent on the current state of things. Like, it's okay that we're not playing great football right now, but the team trajectory is slightly on the upward turn, guys. So I think it's time we bring back some of these players, we sell some players, move them on, and we go again. Because I think the United team, we actually missed the likes of Greenwood, which I think he's going to play off the left. Because I think far, all right, it doesn't matter where Greenwood plays.
He's better than Antony on the right, isn't he?
He's better than Antony. He's better than Rashford. He's better than Garnacho. He's the best player out of our academy since the class of '92.
And that's now you have Kobe Mainoo also.
Kobe Mainoo is good, but it's different. It's different. Like Mason Greenwood.
Yeah.
If you take away, if Mason Greenwood hadn't stopped playing for 2 years, he probably would be already on 20 goals this season. I'm guaranteeing that. He's that good. You know what I mean?
I have no objections. It's Merry Christmas. Everyone will have their opinions, and this is a topic that I think is kind of maturing at the moment. I think it was the best thing that the club can have done. Send him on a loan, get your footballing, motoring skills. You're a father, you have a newborn baby, start fresh. But there's still some angry fans with the moral compass that don't want him back and say cash in. Everyone is entitled for opinions. YouTube is kind of putting your shadow ban if you mention his name. I don't know what's going on here in this mad world. It is a mad world, and we are living in. And all we want to do is say Merry Christmas in advance, and thank you everyone for tuning in. I have nothing else. I think we're overdue to say to close the shop, Mark, unless you have something else that's burningly matter in your pocket.
Yeah, I mean,
we can park it to the evening show.
We can park it to the United evening show, because I'm just reading the comments, and I'm thinking about Jeff Steele's comment here. United would never play Greenwood again because of the backlash. But I just want to leave the comment for everyone listening. As a fan, you're not going to agree with every single decision that the club makes. You're not going to like every single player that the club has. You're not going to like some things. In life, you're going to have to hold one sometimes. You're going to be one of those people disagreeable. No, not everyone is going to have everything each and every which way they want it to be. Sometimes you're going to have a situation where you have to give to get to receive. You have to give up. You know what I mean? You might not like this player because he made a mistake or whatever reason, but you love Manchester United. And I think the love for Manchester United should be greater than, the hate for a player who's a teenager. Like, it's literally a little boy making a mistake that boys make. You know what I mean? If he was a full-fledged adult and he was someone in a gangbanger or something with a recurring history of making these mistakes, then I can 100% agree. And he should not play for United ever again. But first-time mistakes, sometimes you have to forgive and forget. And that's the way
forgive
life
and
is
forget.
sometimes.
Forgive and forget, and that's Christmas spirit. You should forgive and forget, and focus on what's important in life. And to sum up the whole, actually, this is a great summary of what the whole stream was all about. This whole morning show, basically sell players, yes, but we have players that are good enough that is out on the loan, the Library FC, right? And this sums up what Eva Boss is saying. Best part is that Greenwood and Fernandes cost us nothing to bring in.
100%.
And there you have it. There you have it. You're good enough, you're old enough, you're one of ours, you're contracted, bring him back. Let's get the best out of this season. And that's about all I want for this club for Christmas, right? I don't want the current establishment to make us weaker when we know we need to get stronger. So that's my whole point. Big up George Vukalic, big up Ivo Bosic. Thank you for everyone. The special one just tuned in late. Listen, support the channel. See you latest tonight. We will have another evening show with Jarvis Cocker, myself, Mark, and I think Botswana Papi. The same old. There's nothing much to report. I think it's Carabao Cup tonight as well, isn't it? Or yesterday?
Yeah, it's Carabao Cup. There's some games today as well. Chelsea defeated Newcastle, knocked them out 1-1 penalty.
But is there any games tonight?
Yeah, I believe Liverpool plays today for some reason.
Liverpool. All right. Guys, stay beautiful. Have a fantastic Wednesday. And Thank you, Mark, for coming in, and I hope your father is okay. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Guys, smash the like, hit the subscribe if you haven't. This has been Mick Ruby, Beat the Press, together with Mark Nurse. Guys, talk to you later, and laters. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching Mufc Realis TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.